2021 group quiz. Question 1. Which of the following actions might we logically expect to result from rising stock prices? I put A. Gym increases consumption spending.
I put C.
I put C.
You both put C?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I remember that in the reading.
Decrease.
Means people since like stock prices rise, people are more into getting stock.
Actually,
so
when stock prices rise, people are not going to spend more on investment. Investment, they mean like equipment and things like that. That's what investment is. It's not investment in the stock market.
Yeah, firms are going to spend more on investing, and that can be towards their firm. It said it in the reading. I do remember it. I think this one's right. It said it like that exact statement. Let me see if I can find it.
it kind of makes sense because when a firm's stock price rises, basically everyone expects their company to do a lot better, and they probably do so as well, which means they probably spend more in investment.
Well, they're getting more money because they're able to sell. They're doing good. Their position of their companies are good.
But then I also could see it with A a little bit, because if it was with person trying to buy the stock, then they want to buy the stock in order to get the rising of the stock price, but which would then decrease the consumption and spending. But I guess I kind of feel like they're both right, but for some reason C stood out to me.
Yeah, it's in the reading. I have to find it though, but I'm pretty sure it's in the reading. It gives an example just like this.
Okay, that's okay. We can go with that. Well,
let's be sure, because I at this point I need every point I can get.
Yeah, no, C makes sense too. Okay, so let's move on to number 2. For the U.S. economy, money holdings are a small part of household wealth, and so the wealth effect is small. You guys put something different?
No, I got that.
Wait, what did you put again? I didn't.
You put D as in dog?
D as in dog.
Okay. Did you put something different?
I put A, but I could be wrong.
Which question are we on?
2. So I got D, and that was in the reading as well.
Yeah, I put D as well.
Okay.
Okay.
3, a situation in which the Fed's target interest rate has fallen as far as it can fall is sometimes described as B, liquidity trap.
Yep.
4, if the Federal Reserve increases the money supply, then initially people want to D, buy bonds so the interest rate falls.
Yep.
Okay, good. 5, if the Fed conducts open market purchases, the money supply A increases and aggregate demand shifts right.
Yep.
6, according to liquidity preference theory, the opportunity cost of holding money is A, interest rate on bonds. Yeah? Everyone put A for number 6?
Yeah, but what did we get on 5?
5, I put A.
5A, okay.
I put B, but I have a question mark on this one.
For number 5?
For number 6.
6?
Yeah, I put B. I read something about inflation rate, and if the inflation rate was 0, then the real and the nominal were the exact same. or some. Maybe I'm just completely wrong on this.
I put A, the interest rate bonds. I think I know what you're talking about because I struggled with that, and then I just kept reading it over and over, and then it specifically went into the interest rate of the bonds, like further down as it elaborates on it. You want to look
Okay.
at that part of the reading.
I can see what you mean though, because they are both actually opportunity costs. Because if you're holding on to money and you got cash in hand, you're losing interest rate on it, which is equivalent basically to the inflation rate, because they put interest rates on savings to make up for the inflation loss. And so it could be A or B. I could see that.
So is it A because the interest rate on bonds? Do they also? Is it that they're the nominal interest rate because they're a lot higher than the real interest rate usually? I also read something about that. I did this like yesterday, so trying to remember.
Okay, sorry. I'm trying to read on. We're talking about number 6, right?
Yeah. Let me pull up my presentation. Where's my presentation?
Couldn't it technically be D in that case?
Yeah.
Okay, it says so it says under money demand on, I don't know what this is on the theory of liquidity preference on the reading. It says, although many factors determine the quantity of money demanded, the one emphasized by the theory of liquidity preference is the interest rate. The reason that it is the interest rate is the opportunity cost of holding money.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So it's A then.
And then it goes on and it talks about bonds
Okay.
further below. Yeah, sorry.
All right. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
That was one of the ones I had questions on. Okay.
Okay. All right. Number 7, according to liquidity preference theory, an increase in the price level shifts the A money demand curve rightward, so the interest rate increases.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
8, according to liquidity preference theory, the money supply curve is C vertical.
Yep.
9, which of the following events could explain a shift of the money demand curve from MD1 to MD2? I put A, decrease in the price level.
Yep.
10, which of the following sequences best explains the negative slope of the aggregate demand curve? I put C, price level goes down, demand for money goes down, equilibrium interest rate goes down, quantity of goods and services demanded goes up.
Yep.
Mhm.
I got C.
11, other things the same as the price level rises. Okay, this one, I put a question mark. I put A with a question mark.
I got A.
I got A.
I get A or B.
We know that the interest rate rises. So, price level. Are you guys good with that one? Or
I am. The only thing that I question on it is when you think of graphs in previous weeks, what would always cause a move along a curve is a change in price. So change in price would be the only thing that would change on a curve. Everything else would shift. And since this says price level rises, it's a change in price, or is price level different than price? You know what I mean?
It talks about, it says, like, when it has an example here in the book, and it says when the price level rate rises, and it shows a shift, the P1, so P1 to P2 in the price, it increases the money demand. So whenever there's a change in the price level, it does affect the demand.
But is
It
it the
says
demand
that
cliff or demand curve?
it affects the demand.
What slide is that one on?
It's not a slide. Sorry.
Oh, sorry.
It shifts it. It shifts it. It goes. Let me share my screen. 1 second.
Okay.
Okay. Can you guys see that? So it's saying that when the price changes, so P1 to P2, it shifts. This creates a shift here.
I'm not seeing it.
Yeah, I don't see
Oh,
it either.
you don't see my screen? Oh,
No.
sorry. I haven't selected it. Sorry. Here you go. Can you guys see that?
Yeah.
So the demand curve. So isn't this line the aggregate demand? So it does cause it to shift from here to here. So this explanation here, if you guys go here, this is what. So if you guys can read that part, and increasing the price level from P1 to P2 shifts the money demand curve to the right, as in the panel A. So over here, this increase in the money demand causes the interest rate to rise from R1 to R2 because the interest rate is the cost of borrowing. The increase in the interest rate reduces the quantity of goods and services demanded from Y1 to Y2. That is what causes this change right here.
Well, what it's actually doing though on the second graph is it's not shifting it, it's moving it along the demand curve. It's
Along the
from
demand.
Y1 to
Well,
Y2.
this is. Oh, that's. Well, then what are these two? Now I'm confused because this is saying money demand at price level right here. If you look at this.
The question is asking what happens to the aggregate demand. So the left one is money demand, and the right one is aggregate demand, and I guess on the aggregate actually shifting and it's moving.
Yeah, you're right. Because
So
that
it's
is
a
the aggregate
movement.
demand curve. So it's the movement.
Okay, so it is a movement. So I was looking at this wrong though. Well, this is the one. So what it's saying, what you're saying is the money demanded moves, but
But the aggregate demand moves.
Okay.
That's
So
what
we all think that 11 is B then, right?
Yeah, based off of this, it's showing a shift on the actual
that's the only
line.
conclusion I can get from those two graphs.
I'm just confused on this part, but I guess that's more of the demand. I thought isn't this the same thing that switched for, I don't know.
So the left one is the quantity of money, and the right one is quantity of products.
Oh, yeah, you're
If you
right.
look at it, one of them says price level and the other one says interest rate.
Interest
So
rate.
it says interest rate goes up, then it would be a shift. But
The price level is okay. You're right. That makes sense. Sorry, I don't know why I didn't look at the difference, but that makes sense. This was the interest rate bearing and this one's the price level. Okay. Are we good?
So that one, is that A or B?
B.
B. Okay.
The price level. Wait. Price level. Oh, now I'm confused. Again.
Price level is the vertical axis on the right one, and when the price level changes, it causes a shift.
Oh.
A move of the aggregate demand. But it shifts the money demand.
Okay.
So are we going with B on that one then?
Yeah.
Okay. 12. The marginal propensity to consume for this economy is, I put 0.750, which is D.
I didn't. I put A, but can you just tell me what you did? What you
Yeah.
did?
So I did 7,250 minus 6,500 divided by 11,000 minus 10,000, which equals 0.7. Then after I have that, then I do your 1 divided by your, oh no, never mind. No, that equals
No, that's it.
0.750. Yeah.
So it would it's 1 minus 0.75.
Yeah, so I did the 7,250 minus 6,500 over 11,000 minus 10,000.
Okay, so do you do that when it's the two? Because I just did like each one separately, and that's why I got the wrong answer. So how did you guys know to do that? I guess I don't know. Okay, 72.50. Okay, sorry. We can just move on. I'm just curious.
No, I'm trying to remember why.
So
I
I
just,
did this
you
last week.
know, I mean, I didn't see any examples of this.
me
That's
neither.
why I was confused. That's why I did them separately. And then one of them came out to 0.65 and the other one came out to 0.6590. So it's like, all right, I guess 6.65. But what I don't understand is how you knew to do this equation here of the 7250 minus the 6500.
So I didn't actually. I did it your way for number 12, but once I got to number 15, I did it the way I probably should have, and I forgot to go back. So I actually had A, but I'm pretty sure it's not A because of what I did on number 15. But
Okay. So how did you guys know to do it? I guess I don't see any examples, or can you tell me so that I can have more practice on that? Because I'm kind of scared these are going to be on the test and I'm going to be confused.
So
I guess you're
basically,
trying
what
to take an average of the income and the average of the consumption. That'll get you the average marginal propensity to consume for the economy. And then you would just type that in, I guess, to get a specific number, I guess.
Okay.
isn't this number just how much consumption is increasing per dollar of income increase?
Mm-hmm.
So for every dollar they get in increased income, they spend 75 cents.
Okay. All right. Sorry, we can go ahead.
Okay. 13, as real GDP falls, D, money demand falls. So the interest rate falls. 14, if the MPC is 0.8 and there are no crowding out or accelerator effects, then an initial increase in aggregate demand of $120 billion will eventually shift the aggregate demand curve to the right by, I put C, 600 billion.
Put D.
I got C.
I'll
So
tell
I
you
did,
why I think it's D, because it's asking you, it's not telling you where it's going to land. It's telling you how much it's going to move by. So
I
the
did
4
1 divided by 1 minus 0.8 on number 14. So you take your point, you do that formula, the 1 divided by, and then you take the difference, 1 minus 0.8, which equals 5. And then I did 5 times 120, which equals 600.
Yeah, but it's asking, isn't the question asking how much it's going to increase? Sorry, I got the 600. I got that exact thing, but it's asking about how much it's going to shift, how it, and maybe I'm reading the question wrong, but I thought it was asking how much it's going to shift to get to the 600. That's how I read it, but if you guys all got the 600, I got the 600 initially and then I reread it, but that's fine.
So your thing is like D, 480?
Yeah, I'm saying 480 because it's saying, sorry, it says initial increase in the aggregate demand of the 120 billion will eventually shift the aggregate demand curve to the right by that amount. It's not saying that it's going to, it's asking how much it's going to shift by, not what this number is. I don't remember. I don't remember why I thought it was the 480, but I get why. I mean, I get it, but then I don't know how to explain it to you guys because it was like last night, late at night. I got the 600. I have everything you guys did. My only thing was because it's asking how much it's going to shift by. I believe it was to get the 600 because that's where it's going to end up at the 600 billion, isn't it?
So you mean that initially we'll move 120 and then an additional 480
To
and
arrive at the 600.
Okay.
That's what my thought was, but I mean, I guess we can just test it and see if that one's right or not. But that's what, because it's asking how much it's going to shift by, not where it's going to essentially land. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
But we can just put C. I did get the 600. I don't remember why I thought of it that other way.
Okay. I'll have to think about that one. All right, 15. Put an answer, but I also wrote in parentheses, I do not understand this problem. In response to which of the following events could aggregate demand increase by 1,500? I put B, but I do not understand why I put B.
I didn't understand this one either.
I got B as well. The only thing that I understood about it was that the numbers matched when I did kind of this math. So I basically did the same thing for number 12. You just took the 7,440 minus the 6,720, and you would get 320, and then the other one would be 500. So you would take the 320, divide it by 500, and you would get 64%. And then I just plugged it into the MPC equation, and that would come out to be a 1 over 0.36. So that would be about 2.77. So that would keep going on forever. And I times that by the 550 to get the 1,527, which letter B says that there is a small operative crowding out effect, which means it would be a little bit less than the 15.7.
Oh, I'm super lost. I'm not gonna.
I know. Yep. I don't fully understand it myself, but that's the only thing that makes sense to me. And I'm just wondering if anybody else has anything better on that one.
Did you say B?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't, because I couldn't understand what. I don't know how to incorporate.
There's a lot of background noise. I'm having a hard time hearing. Can you explain what you did again?
Me?
Yeah, there was a lot of background noise, so I couldn't hear.
Okay, so it's kind of like number 12. So basically on this one, you would just take the 7,040 and you would minus the 6,720 and you would get the 320. Okay. And then you would take that number plus the other number that you did for 12 kind of, but for this problem, which would be 500. So you do the 320 divided by 500, and that would get you 64%. And then you would just plug that into the MPC equation, and you would get 2.777, and it would go on forever, basically. And you would just times that. I times that by one of these two numbers, the 300 or the 550, and the 550 comes closest to the 1,500. But then I also looked at B, So B and C, but then for B, there is a small operative crowding out, which means it would drop by a little bit. It actually, the number goes out to about 1,527. So with that small fallout, it would probably go to about 1,500. But the other one with no crowding out, it would be over 1,500. That's the only thing that made sense to me. So
That makes sense.
Okay. Okay. Awesome. Let me write that down. Huh. Okay. 16. Suppose the multiplier has a value that exceeds 1, and there are no crowding out or investment accelerator effects. Which of the following would shift aggregate demand to the right by more than the increase in expenditure? 16, I put D, all of the above.
Yep.
17, suppose there was a large increase in net exports. If the Fed wanted to stabilize output, it could decrease. Oh, let me see. Decrease the money supply, which will increase interest rates. Did you all put D?
I put B, but
B?
we both agree on decreasing the money supply. Reduce interest rates, increase interest rates. So
I put B, and I can't tell you why because I don't remember.
I guess the question on it is now whether the interest rate increases or decreases at this point.
Well, if you increase the money supply, the interest rates go down because you have more to offer. When you decrease it, it becomes more valuable, and so the interest rates go up. Right?
I gotta think this one through. Sorry.
No problem.
I actually think you're right on this one, because like doing this thing. I don't know if you guys do that with your arms or hands, but I guess this is backwards for you guys. But when the money supply goes down, then demand is lower, and the interest rate is higher. So I think you're correct on that one. I think it's D.
Okay. 18. Which of the following is correct? I put D, all of the above are correct.
I got D.
Good. 19. Which of the following policies would be advocated by proponents of stabilization policy when the economy is experiencing severe unemployment? C, increase in government purchases.
C.
Good. And 20, opponents of active stabilization policy A generally don't believe, even in theory, that fiscal policy can stabilize the economy.
Yeah.
I chose A or C, but I just had a question on that one, but just I'm okay, I guess. I can see kind of both a little bit, or
I picked C. I thought it was A, and then in the reading it said the opposite of that. So we should probably look at that.
Okay.
so I thought it was that they do believe in theory, but that
Yeah.
they don't really, since it's only a theory, they don't totally go by it all the time. That's what I thought.
So it said, let me find in the reading. It said that they believe in theory. Let me look at it. So that's why I didn't pick that one.
Because I also picked C. I had a question mark on this one too. So
Sorry, let me just try to find it.
I'm reading it right now in the PowerPoint too.
Okay. It's right here. Let me share it. Okay. Right here. These economists may admit that monetary and fiscal policy can stabilize the economy in theory, but they doubt whether it can do so in practice.
yeah,
So it can't be A because they do believe in theory that it can.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
So that's why I picked C.
Okay.
The only one I didn't know if it was B or C, but I did pick C. So
All right. Well, let's see. Let's take the quiz and see what happens.
So what did we choose on number 1?
oh, that's right. You weren't here for number one.
Number one, we agreed on C. What do you
Okay.
think?
Yeah, I chose C as well.
Okay. All right. So number one, we believe C. Firms spend more on investments. 2, B. 3B. 4D.
What'd you get on 4?
Yes. Do you guys agree with D on 4?
yeah, I have D.
Oh,
What'd you put?
I thought it was B, and I wrote down B. I guess did we not? If the Federal Reserve increases the money supply, then initially people want to.
Yeah, I put B or D, and then I thought everyone said D, so I was like, okay, it's D.
I think I probably heard you guys say B, and that's what I had. So I'm not sure on that one.
Increases my supply. Let me make myself a chart. Hmm. I have no idea on that one. This chapter was very hard for me.
I agree.
Yeah.
B kind of doesn't seem like it's working in my mind anymore for some reason, because
Exactly. I feel like it did not click in my head at all. None of it clicked. I don't know
when
why.
you increase the money supply, there's more money. Maybe people will want to save more and they'll want to buy bonds. That way I can see that. But they don't want to sell bonds to get more money. Like it's kind of like mind twisting a little bit.
Yeah. Well,
Well, if the Federal Reserve increases money supply, then initially there's a surplus in the money market, right? So people want to buy bonds when there's a surplus. Isn't that right?
And that's when the interest, well,
then they can lower the interest rate because more people.
they also
Yeah, 'cause
want
people
to
are
buy
buying.
bonds when the interest rate is high.
Because they're buying the bonds before the interest rate falls. They're buying, so once they put more money out there, people are buying bonds before the rates fall. The rates fall when people are buying the bonds because now the government has the money it wants. I don't know. Does that make sense? I don't know if I'm thinking of it right or not. Okay, well, I'll go with D, and I'll let you know how I do. All right, 5.
I
put
think you are
A.
right on that, though. I kind of think it's D.
I don't know. I could be wrong. This chapter's got me so. I don't even care at this point. This class. This will be one of the grades that I had a 4.0. I'm gonna drop it. I just know it is. This class sucks. Okay. Anyway, that's me venting. 6A. 7A. 8C. 9A. 10C. 11B. 12B. 13D. 14C. 15B. 16D. 17D. 18D.
Did you say 17D as in dog?
Yeah. Yeah, did you put something different?
No.
No? Okay. 18D, 19C, and 20C. Let me just confirm that I put everything down that I want to put down, because sometimes I do it wrong. Okay, 1C, 2D, 3B, 4D, 5A, 6A, 7A, 8C, 9A, 10C, 11B, 12B, 13D, 14C, 15B, 16B, 17B, 18B, 19C, 20C, and I'm going to submit this. If it'll submit. There we go. Oh, perfect score.
Oh, great.
I am shocked. Wow, I was not expecting that.
So you got D.
Yes. Wait,
So-
which one was it again?
Number 4, I was
Or D.
even
4
thinking
is
about
D.
it being C now because when you like buy bonds, so the interest rate rises because usually market equilibrium tries to go back on itself a little bit. But I guess nah, that one's kind of hard.
Yeah. I think they're talking about long term, like what's going to happen in the long term. So initially, people are going to buy bonds, but then in the long term, because when they buy bonds in the beginning, the rates are up. That's why they're buying bonds, because the rates are up. And the rates are up because the government, they increase the money supply, hoping that people will buy bonds. And so they put the rates up so that people will buy them. And then once people buy the bonds, then the government's like, oh, okay, it works. Now we can drop our rates again. It's just that fluctuation game that they play.
Awesome. Okay. Wow. That was actually very surprising to me as well.
That's a painful test. Boy.
Okay. Thanks, guys. I'll list this. I'll post this right now.
Thank you. Good luck, you guys. Good luck on your final.
Bye. You
It was
too.
great work.